Unbelievable. The last time I saw an explosion this big, the janitor quit, and well, let's just say I had a lot of fun that night. Guys, Bitcoin's momentum remains extremely bullish, and we've just recently gotten a bounce off of the $37,000 area and have breached 39,000 concretely. Now, are we on our way to 40, 41, 42 plus thousand US dollars, or is this train getting ready to stop? Let's make a mess. Welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, Bobby Blastoff, and boy, do we have some blasting off to get into today. Guys, Bitcoin has just continued to explode, and altcoins specifically have done really well. So good news for altcoin holders. Over the next week, I think we're going to see a massive resurgence into some of these alts to really get them kicked up. As you saw, this is exactly what we've been anticipating. And guys, this thing is shaping up so beautifully. But guys, keep in mind, Bitcoin is doing extremely well, surpassing all-time highs by a lot, and a lot more to come in a very short amount of time, specifically Q1 2021, in my opinion. But guys, what we've seen with these altcoins is literally nothing. Altcoins are ready for a blast off of their own, but the true alt season has not even begun. Wow, so if you guys love gainers, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. Remember, all comments do enter you for a hardware wallet, equivalent BTC, or access to T4. We will be picking the winner in the next webisode, so make sure to drop your comment below. And without any further ado, let's jump in. Guys, looking at this weekly chart, Bitcoin is literally mind-blowing. And actually, as I pull up this chart, we've literally just set yet another new all-time high. $40,000 is imminent, okay? $40,000 is coming, whether it's literally in 5 minutes from now or tomorrow or next week. It doesn't matter, guys. It is coming, a $40,000 Bitcoin. And that is a specific target a lot of people have been talking about for a while. And guys, what I believe, okay, we're going to jump into exactly what I think is going to be going on here. As we talked about this scenario, which played out exactly, if you guys have been watching, you know what I'm talking about here, this $32,000 roughly area. Now we've entered absolute blast-off territory here for Bitcoin, and as well as we've surpassed $1 trillion in market cap for the entire cryptocurrency market cap. As we said, we're starting to see altcoins get flooded with a lot of value. In fact, Ethereum just hit its highest price point in the last 3 years and is only just a few percent away from its all-time highs. Currently about 10% away from its all-time high here on Coinbase, about $14.20, less than $200 away as I'm speaking. And we're going to be shattering that all-time high very soon. We're going to be shattering it this month. But the real question, are we going to be shattering it this week? Perhaps, are we going to be shattering it today or tomorrow? So guys, as I said about this area here, massive blast-off zone, last big area of resistance that I was talking about here, what I think comes next for Bitcoin is if we actually surpass $40,000, we're going to see a very similar scenario to like what we said was going to happen around 30,000 US dollars. Remember, we said when we pass 30,000, we're not going to stop at 30,000. We're going to shoot a few $1,000s above that. And if we go to the daily chart, that is exactly what happened. If we go to the day that it broke 30,000, right here, back on, it looks like it was January 1st, the very first day of the year. You can see one of the biggest candles on this daily chart. We broke 29,155, and then we ultimately break 30,000 the next day. We shoot up immediately to 33,000. So as we predicted a long time ago, breaking 30,000 would initiate a massive surge, a few $1,000s. And guys, that's exactly what I think is going to happen here, which is absolutely insane considering the fact that this is already a pretty sizable daily candle. Let's take a look at this. 37 roughly. Currently we're at 39, so already like a $2,000 candle, which for Bitcoin nowadays is not even that much. So ultimately what I think is going to happen here, if we break 40,000, we could have a clear moonshot to 43, 44,000 US dollars based on these fib levels. Guys, let's also, before we continue here, I also just feel like I'm responsible. I have to say this. At some point, we will be visiting the 21-week moving average. We will be getting a pullback at some point, but will Bitcoin be at 50, 60, $70,000 before we initiate such a pullback? Potentially. I do want to say the risk of entering the market for your very first time at these price levels is much higher than it was back here, right? Entering at $19,000 or $20,000 was premium Bitcoin opportunity, even better anywhere around 10,000. But where we are right now at about 40,000 US dollars, the risk in the short term is a little bit higher. But what about mid and long term? Absolutely fine. We're going to be seeing a 6-digit Bitcoin in the first quarter of this year, in my opinion, okay? And based on the trajectory, based on the momentum of Bitcoin right now, that doesn't even seem very far off. People have changed their prediction from, $100,000 to $200,000 per Bitcoin to 500,000 upwards to 7 digits, even the craziest predictions over the next 2 to 3 years of being $1 million Bitcoin. Now, a lot of things have to go right for that to happen. basically a lot of money printing and disarray, which we're seeing. We're seeing both of those. So both scenarios are working out. If we take a look actually here at the DXY as well, guys, what do you notice? The DXY actually today is pumping up to this 21-day moving average, where I personally think we're going to face a rejection over the next few days, and we're going to continue lower here. Yesterday was the lowest the DXY was in the past 3 years. And this trajectory is going to continue. Just like we said back here towards the middle of December, when Bitcoin comes up to this 21-day moving average, we think it's going to get rejected. I 100% think that exact same thing is going to happen here, and that most likely will mean massive Bitcoin pumping. But guys, also keep in mind, Bitcoin is pumping today as the DXY has its biggest green candle in quite a while right now. So even though the DXY is pumping, usually Bitcoin would dump in that scenario. Bitcoin is also still pumping. Absolute blast off. We're setting highs basically every few minutes here. The charts look really good. I personally think based on fib extensions, 43.44 is a really good short-term target here. 43 to 44,000 US dollars per Bitcoin before we potentially see maybe one of these again. Okay, because this was a pretty big dip, about a $6,000 dip. Actually $7,000 dip that was immediately bought up. This is on the 4-hour chart. You can see the wick was not even a single 4-hour candle. It was bought up basically immediately, and we had closes immediately here. Absolute blast off for the crypto space. It is getting a lot of media attention right now, guys, and the amount of new people in this space is absolutely insane. We've been making these videos for years now, and I've never seen this many new people commenting on videos with questions about Bitcoin. We're seeing a lot of new people get in. We're seeing more institutions feel comfortable get in, and a $1 trillion market cap for the entire crypto space is literally just the beginning of this blast off. Guys, remember, a $10 trillion market cap, I personally think is a low estimate of where this market is going to top out maybe in a year from now. Because again, personally, what I think is going to happen is we're going to continue this massive blast off, potentially have a cool down maybe towards the middle of this year, and then initiate another massive blast off. And that's if we even get a massive cool down consolidation for a few months in general. Because again, guys, keep in mind, we can look at these charts all day. We can look at what they've done in the past all day, every day. But what is fundamentally happening around the world, not just billionaires putting money in, it's not just institutional money, but what is going on with this money printing and the chaos going on specifically in the US. And there's some other things going on around the world, but specifically what's going on in the US right now, I think is fueling this rally in a much different way that will end up changing the actual structure of this long-term chart. I think it could get a lot different. It'll diverge a lot, in my opinion, from what we've seen in the past. Fundamentally, what's going on right now and the people that are buying Bitcoin right now is unlike anything we've ever seen before. And that's illustrated on these charts. And still, with all of that being said, so far, this chart has not even diverged too much from previous cycles. So basically what I'm saying here is the sky is the limit, because even Bitcoin's price performance right now, even though it seems crazy, these price levels are basically what the stock to flow predicted. They're basically what people like myself have been predicting as we come out of a bear market. Still, now, unless we start breaking $100,000 and $200,000 within the next month or two, like if we absolutely shatter 100,000 within the next month, then we can start saying, wow, this cycle is actually fundamentally price-wise way different than we were expecting. But at this point, still, this is not too unusual in terms of price action. I still personally think we have way more upside to come over the next 2 to 3 months specifically. So yeah, even with everything crazy going on around the world, still nothing fundamentally with this price action has changed too much in terms of its structure. We have Ethereum closing in on its all-time high, only about $150-ish roughly away from its all-time high. Guys, as I've been saying for a while, I think Ethereum is incredibly undervalued, and the possibility of seeing a 5-digit Ethereum this year, okay, keep in mind, this year just began, so we have an entire 12 months. I think seeing a 5-digit Ethereum this year is exactly what I'm looking for. I think it's very, very likely. And guys, we looked at some alts yesterday, but ultimately what I think is going to happen is as we approach this level here, which we're, again, very close to, let's take a look exactly how far away, roughly only about 40% away from at this moment. I think alt season is going to really start to kick into high gear because we're seeing alts across the board actually do really well. For example, one of my favorite coins, Chainlink, doing pretty well right now, approaching its all-time highs of about $20. It's currently at $17. I think that once we actually get this entire altcoin market cap to breach 500 billion, even maybe only, yeah, I would say 500 billion to be safe there, I think that altcoins are really going to start flooding with value. But I personally think we still have a ways to go, meaning there's so much more room for pumpage in these altcoins in the very, very short term. And guys, with that being said, 43 to 44 roughly is what I think Bitcoin can hit in the very short term, meaning like another week. But in the midterm, maybe within the next month, I personally think that actually $60,000, the 1.6 here on this fib retrace, is a really big target to be looking out for, roughly about 58,000. But yeah, I think it's a target that we're going to hit very soon. Is it possible we hit that target before we get any sort of pullback on this weekly chart down to anywhere near this 21-week moving average? Very good question. It's very possible. In a bull market, we can stay overbought for a while. And in fact, in a bull market, it's good to be overbought. It's good to have these indicators absolutely screaming overbought. We don't want to get too crazy with it, but yeah, as you can see here, we're approaching some levels of overboughtness that we saw back in 2013, which is exactly what I talked about in the last few videos about I think that this structure might be more similar to back here. And basically what that means, guys, massive explosiveness, very good things to come. Bitcoin is absolutely erupting. Wow, so if you guys love gainers, make sure to hit that subscribe, like, turn on post notifications, and for anybody interested in trading these markets, specifically longing these markets, if you guys have experience, you want to support the channel, make sure to sign up with our link to Bybit below. Some very nice bonuses. There are dozens and dozens of you trading daily there. I've heard so many good things in the comments about what people have been able to do over the past few weeks. When will this run come to an end? Nobody knows, but one thing is for sure, over the next year, Bitcoin has a lot of growth, a lot of room, and altcoins specifically are ready to absolutely change the game.